Hey, my name is Zachary Planey. I'm a junior. I'm a sport management and business admin double major, and my hometown is Plano, Texas. And up next, we have Titantown Sports.
Welcome back to the set of Titantown Sports. It's episode 13 of season 2. I'm Ethan Kurtz. Alongside me at the desk, Tom Rook. Tom, we've seen a little bit of snow earlier this week. I've got my fall-colored tie on, though. I'm really excited for this episode of Titantown Sports.
Ethan, you're getting a little excited. It's episode 12. Don't forget, episode 12. I like it. You're excited for next week's show.
I know. I'm sorry.
It's all good, all good. Ethan, we cover a lot of sports here. Titantown Sports, every sport you can imagine. I'm a baseball guy myself. I like to think of the lineup. Titantown Sports lineup. Who starts us off? Prime cuts. Here we go. RJ Stott and Peyton Mel.
Welcome back to Prime Cuts. I am RJ Scott alongside my partner Peyton Mel, and today we've got your Senior Recognition Day recap featuring a record-breaking win against Hiram as the Titans took it 76-0, tying a mark set all the way back in 1904 against a Branch Rickey-led Allegheny squad. All right, enough with the history. Let's roll the highlights. Freshman connection alert, Quentin Cheesegood finds fellow classmate Lawrence Grayson for a huge first down grab to move the chains. Moments later, Cheese links up with Bright Cannon, who takes it all the way to the house for 6. I'll let the voice of the Titans, Mark Slazak, take it from there.
He's to the 20, he's gonna go! Bright Cannon into the end zone for a touchdown! Who needs to...
And on defense, when your nickname is Death Row, you better bring the pain. Mason Manis cleans up the quarterback, and Sonny Gonzalez scoops it up for the big man touchdown. Titans up early, 14-0.
Mason Manis, Sonny Gonzalez, they combine in the big hit, the sack, and the Titans score.
Hiram tries to stay aggressive through the air, but pressure from Westminster's D-line forces a bad throw, and senior Marcus Finkley comes up with the interception.
25, 20, 15, and inside the 15-yard line, Marcus Finkley, first career.
With great field position, Cheese hands it off to senior running back Demir White, who jets into the end zone for another score. What a day for the seniors.
One and he's in. Demir White does it right, and he's in for a Titan touchdown.
The Titans stay hot, setting up first and goal. Clayton Cannon powers through for 6 more.
Cannon powers into the end zone. Cannonball coming, and into the end zone, a shot. Clayton Cannon will score from 2 yards out.
Then it's chaos again. A fumbled snap by Hiram gives Jack Bible his highlight moment. A scoop and score.
Might be live. Sleva is there. It's actually Bible fumbling in, picking it up. He's into the end zone. It's a touchdown, Titans. It was a backwards pass, and Jack Bible is celebrating Senior Recognition Day with an incredible play and a touchdown.
The Titans are rolling now, and Clayton Cannon Jr. adds another rushing touchdown to make it 42-0.
Clayton Cannon with a touchdown.
Finally, Lamont Austin caps off an incredible half with the 3rd defensive touchdown. Yes, 3rd, taking it to the crib and putting the Titans up 48-0 heading into halftime.
Dog shooter, he cares about football, gets the pick and scores the touchdown.
A dominant first half on both sides of the ball. Offense firing, defense suffocating, and the Titans pitching a shutout. I'll now hand things over to my partner in crime, Peyton Mel, to break down the second half.
Thanks, RJ. This is Peyton Mel, and I'll be taking you through the highlights and key moments from the second half. To start off the half, Bright Cannon returns his opening kickoff for 47 yards, bringing his average kick return to an impressive 40.16 yards per return.
Side of the 40, he's to the 50, 40-yard line, and spun down near the 30, a big return for Bright Cannon.
On the opening drive, senior offensive lineman Gage Dagonski completes a 16-yard pass to Bright Cannon, marking the first pass completion of his career.
Caught Bright Cannon from Gage Dagonski. How often do you see?
That sets up senior running back Demir White, who powers in for a touchdown. His second of the game, finishing with 47 total yards and 2 scores on the night.
Touchdown Titans! Demir White from a yard away.
The Titans defense stayed relentless, including missed tackle for loss by my partner RJ Scott.
RJ, welcome to the party.
The offense kept rolling as Clayton Cannon Jr. ran in his 3rd touchdown of the night, the most rushing touchdowns in a game of his Titan career.
Clayton Cannon with his 3rd touchdown run of the game.
Still in the third, freshman Jaxon Hendershott showed why the Titans' backfield will remain strong for years to come, breaking off for a 26-yard gain, and then finishing the same drive with a touchdown.
The handoff, Koval up the middle, 3-2-1, and he's in. It's a touchdown, Titans. Jaxon Hendershott will score, and the Titans continue to roll.
In the fourth, R.J. Scott rips the ball away, forcing a fumble recovered by A.J. Bird.
The 17-yard line, back to pass, Walder rolls to his right, chased by R.J. Scott, and the ball walked away. R.J. ripped it away. It's loose. It's picked up. Titans have it, and they're down to about the 1-yard line.
The forced fumble set up sophomore Mitchell Tingley's first career rushing touchdown.
He pushes, and he's in. It's a touchdown, Titans. A little help from his friends, and Mitchell Tingley bangs into the end zone.
Titans would roll to a 76-0 victory as the seniors took the field for the final kneel down to cap off a dominant night.
The final kneel down, the seniors will come off to a rousing round of applause. And I love how that ended up for the Westminster Titans. Clock is down to 17 seconds. You can see everybody's in the handshake line. No plays need to be run. And the Westminster Titans knock off Hiram by a score of 76-0.
That'll do for this week's edition of Prime Cuts. Now we'll send it back to the studio.
It was a record-setting game on Saturday. Ben Kelly and Coach Scott Benzel inside the huddle here on Titan Town Sports. Coach, welcome back.
Thanks for having me, buddy.
Regular season finale coming up. Let's go back a week, though. Like I said, tied the program record that was set in 1904 when Westminster beat Allegheny. We wore the Dodger hats a week too early. Leading that Allegheny squad was Branch Rickey, Dodgers general manager, who signed Jackie Robinson. I thought you'd like that little Dodger.
That is awesome. Is that right?
That's right, yeah.
Fantastic.
Well, like I said, 76-0. At what point did you know in that game you were in for some history?
You know, when you put, how many, 30-some in the first quarter?
34.
At that point, you're kind of thinking, okay, this could get significant. The biggest blow was their starting quarterback wasn't available, and that really threw them for a loop. They sort of were all out of sorts, and then when you get down that much in the first quarter, it can start to snowball.
Player of the game, the first time in my career of broadcasting you guys, player of the game was given to the entire Titan defense. They've been a top defensive side in all of D3 for the entire year. I want to give you a chance to give them their flowers ahead of the regular season finale. What can you say about this Titan defense? I know Gene Gary Joseph looking behind you is going to be liking this one.
You know what? I'm hard on them guys, man. I am the wrong guy to ask because there's a lot of things we can do better, and they know that. What I will say is I thought we were going to have a special defensive front you know, at the beginning of the year, and that's kind of held true. We've played a lot of guys through there, but those guys are impact guys, and they've made a ton of plays. I think they've helped us tremendously, particularly in the, you know, our back end is a little unsettled at times. You know, we still have some things we got to get a little bit better there. But yeah, overall, you know, I'm a tough grader, but I think those guys are going to be talked about for years to come if they can finish it the right way.
Pretty good flowers to give. Their victory formation, also speaking of giving praise, was great to see. All the senior leaders that have been sidelined from injury get to come on one last snap. What went into that that thought? Give me that walkthrough.
Yeah, E.J. White, our offensive coordinator, he's somebody that has really made a lot of great connections with those young guys. You know, as a head coach, you got to have a fine line. Sometimes you want to, you know, not necessarily be quote-unquote your player's coach all the time. I tend to be that way. But E.J. is somebody that really has connected well. And it was his idea, and he did a nice job with it. They actually rehearsed it on Fridays. My take on it was, you know, I'm like, you know, the Scroogey guy. It's like, nah, I don't want to do it. But, you know, once it kind of presented itself, I thought that was probably one of the coolest things I've seen in football.
Moving on now to St. Vincent. They've got a new head coach their first year, especially with a conference opponent. Do you find it's a bit more difficult, or is there certain challenges to prepare when you're playing a new coach for the first time?
If this was at the beginning of the year, I would say yeah, but there's so much film now. Being at the last game of the year, you pretty much can get a good feel of their DNA and what it is that they're trying to do. So that being said, watching them play and not having, quote-unquote, the success that maybe they probably wanted at this point has not deterred their effort and their attitude. Those guys are going hard every play, and that's a mark to Coach Casey and his staff for doing a great job of keeping those guys plugged in. So, you know, we're going to expect to fight, and, you know, we've got to match that intensity.
It's not just the regular season finale. You guys are playing for your lives on Saturday, looking for a second consecutive trip to Canton in the Open Doors Bowl series. But you need to win to keep those hopes alive. So how does that change the message to the team ahead of Saturday in Latrobe?
Yeah, every week's a season. It's always important, but it has been brought to their attention that, you know, a lot of the guys that had played in that game a year ago know how special that environment is, how special that bowl game is, and the motivating factor of that is just experience. They've played in it. They've been around it. It would be an awesome ending to a pretty much a challenging but rewarding year for our guys, and it would be a nice way to send out, like I said, a group of guys that have given their all for the Titans.
Ahead of the finale, you need 3 keys to beat St. Vincent. Let's get them right now for you.
Yeah, one, we got to control that passing attack. That tandem is doing some things. Their quarterback and their wide receiver at number 4. He's second in the country in receiving yards, second in touchdowns. They're dangerous. We got to take care of that, him and Phillips. And then the second one is by their defensive structure, they are going to load up because I think we have an advantage on the offensive front. And so they're going to have to add some guys to the box. We got to make some big plays. And then the last one, you'll like this reference to my the late great Al Davis. Just win, baby.
There you go. I love it. So go just win on Saturday, Coach, and we'll see if we can get a bowl game appearance with an MPI preview going forward. Coach, good luck on Saturday here on Titan Town Sports. Let's see how the other PAC schools fared on Saturday.
Here now for the penultimate week of the 2025 season, starting off with Bethany, still searching for that first victory of the season. The Teal and Bethany defense would combine to force 5 interceptions between the 2 starting quarterbacks. Bethany would get it started in the second half. Brett Phillips takes a lick there, but finds Jacob Burns in the end zone to open the scoring up for the Bison. The Bethany defense locked down most of the day, forcing 4 interceptions from Teal quarterback Keller Herzberg. You see floating it into the end zone, and Monty Phillips coming up with 1 of his 2 interceptions on the day. Teal trying to stay alive. Herzberger looking for the end zone, but all he finds is a herd of Bison. Nicholas Rispa comes up with the interception, and Bethany ends their drought, getting their first win of the season, 17-12. Geneva looking to give W&J their first conference loss, but the Presidents had other ideas. Quarterback Kellen Stahl was lights out, throwing for 384 yards and 6 touchdowns. Jacob McCosco and John Peduzzi had nearly identical stat lines, both with 8 catches and 3 touchdowns, 165 yards from McCosco and 163 for Peduzzi. The W&J defense was stout, holding Geneva to negative 0.8 yards per carry and forcing 3 interceptions from quarterback Caleb Romano. You see 1 there in the third quarter. Time for your weekly dose of Luke Crumbacher, a 65-yard score to end the game. W&J takes care of business, beating the Golden Tornadoes 49-7. Waynesburg hosting the Bearcats from Latrobe. Matthew Davis breaks through to get St. Vincent started from 24 yards out. Waynesburg then answers, blocking the punt and returning it for 6 to tie the game up at 7 apiece midway through the first quarter. Quarterback for St. Vincent, Jake Phillips, then finds Chris Downs in the corner of the end zone to get his scoring day started. That was the first of Downs' 2 touchdowns on the afternoon. Chris Downs currently ranks 2nd in D3 in yards and 3rd in touchdowns going into the last week. Carson Shriver with the coup de grace from 34 yards out. The Yellow Jackets get it done against the Bearcats 35-24. Grove City taking a weekend stay at DeSanto Field. Ethan Wiley fires it near side to Seth McGroarty early in the second to get the Wolverines on the board. The Spartans would need a big play, and they got it right out of halftime. Jake Kavsick forcing the Chase Rankin fumble in the very next play. Sam DiTilio finds Bo Wolf in the back right corner of the end zone. Toe drag swag to tie the game up. Grove City would come up big on special teams. Freshman Nick Clemens making the play of the day, blocking the punt and returning it for 6 to give the Wolverines a 2-score lead. Then to ice the game, Ian DeMary with the dagger, 36-yard touchdown. Grove City defeats Case Western 28-14. There's only 1 week left in the regular season. Anything can happen. The playoffs are right around the corner. Now, sending it back to Titantown Studios.
A career day for the Titans on Saturday, 76-0 against Hiram. The defense of the Titans really shining, 3 touchdowns on the day. As we head later into the PAC football season, let's take a look at the standings. Washington and Jefferson still in first place at 7-0 in the PAC. Grove City 6-1. Westminster and Geneva both 5-2. Case Western 4-3. Waynesburg 4-4. Allegheny 3-4. Hiram 2-5. Then St. Vincent, Bethany, and Teal all 1-6. A lot of playoff implications to talk about heading into the final week of the PAC football season. Send it down to Ethan Kurtz for some postseason analysis, Ethan.
Thank you, Tom. As we've mentioned, W&J, now the champions of the PAC with their win last weekend. As a result, they've clinched a spot in the NCAA tournament. Grove City, as the number 2 team, looking to also get into the tournament as an at-large bid. And what we need for that to happen, and the implications on Westminster, as if Grove City does make the NCAA tournament, Westminster will be headed to the Open Doors Bowl game. So, for that to happen, the road to the Pro Football Hall of Fame at Canton. Of course, Westminster, they do need to beat St. Vincent this weekend. Grove City also need to take care of business, knocking off Hiram. So Titan fans, find yourself in an unusual spot rooting for the rivals in the Wolverines. Grove City 27th and 35th in 2 different NPI simulations that I saw. How those simulations work in the NPI, which is the NCAA Power Index, is they take the higher ranked team on NPI and project them to beat the lower ranked team on NPI. So for example, Grove City, higher ranked on NPI, they'll simulate a win for them against Hiram. Where this comes into play: for example, down here, number 1 Johns Hopkins take on number 21 Franklin and Marshall, who Westminster played earlier this season. That game doesn't look like it really will have that much importance in Westminster's playoff bid. However, for example, if F&M do beat Johns Hopkins, that throws off the simulation a little bit because the lower seeded team does win. So for that game, it really won't matter too much. Franklin and Marshall projected to get an at-large bid regardless of whether they win or lose that one. And that out-of-conference game that the Diplomats did play against Westminster ended up being huge for them as well as Grove City in boosting the PAC's non-conference strength of schedule. So either way here, that one should be fine. It doesn't really impact games too much. However, LVC versus Albright in that same conference as Franklin and Marshall, a huge game as Lebanon Valley College went to nearly overtime with Franklin and Marshall. While NPI doesn't take into account score differential, LVC's had a really good season, and a win for them against Albright just further cements F&M's good season, which in turn boosts Grove City and Westminster's NPI. Stay with me if you can. I know this gets complicated. Also, Cortland, who Grove City beat early this season, they take on Ithaca in the 66th Cortica Jug, which is the largest rivalry in college football. Next year in the 67th edition, it's actually headed to Yankee Stadium. So a really cool fact there. But Cortland do need to beat Ithaca, as again, going back to conference strength of schedule, Grove City beating Cortland helps out their NPI if Cortland continue to win, but also Westminster's NPI. And then finally, Allegheny does need to beat Bethany, which is a game that might not seem like it has too much influence on the NPI rankings, being that both teams are lower in the conference, but an out-of-conference game for Allegheny against NCAC Denison earlier this season really has boosted the PAC non-conference strength of schedule. So an Allegheny win over Bethany, furthering their success, would also help Grove City push in to that at-large bid in the NCAA tournament, which as a result, Westminster being the number 3 team, if they do beat St. Vincent this weekend, would send the Titans back to Canton.
Yeah, some uncharted waters for Westminster fans. Now rooting for Grove City this week to pull off a win and get that automatic bid or that at-large bid that is in the NCAA tournament. Now we're going to take a shift to the hardwood. Westminster basketball playing in the Ridl Classic this weekend.
As we move into the winter, it's time for basketball. Westminster Titan basketball. Since 2006, the Titan men's basketball team has hosted the Ridl Classic, a tournament held to honor class of 1942 Westminster graduate Charles Buzz Ridl. Ridl, a legend in Western Pennsylvania athletics, coached the Westminster College men's basketball team from 1956 to 1968. In that time, his teams compiled a 216-91 record, good for a 70.4 winning percentage. Westminster made 6 appearances in the NAIA National Tournament, advancing twice to the championship game and twice to the semifinals. Coach Ridl won NAIA Coach of the Year in 1962 and was selected as one of only 5 coaches for the NAIA Golden Anniversary Team in 1986. Ridl was a leading scorer and 4-year letterman during his playing career at Westminster. From 1938 to 1942, when Ridl was a Titan, the team went 62-19. The 1940-41 team specifically went 20-1, which remains the best regular season record in Titan history. That team earned an invite to the National Invitation Tournament. Following his time coaching the Titans, Coach Ridl was named the head coach of the University of Pittsburgh men's basketball team. After his time with Pitt, Coach Ridl returned to Westminster, serving as Director of Alumni and then Director of Athletics until his retirement in 1985. This year's Titan team is led by 2009 Westminster graduate Dave Richards, who's in his first season leading the Titans into battle. I spoke with senior guard Jaxon Hendershott ahead of his final Ridl Classic.
all the fans, family coming. It's just a really exciting time, not only for the fans, but for me as well, because, you know, it's the start of a new season. And with this being the last one, it's definitely going to be one that I'm going to cherish for a very long time.
Hendershott, who is 4-2 in his career in the Ridl Classic, talked about what this year's team needs to do to be successful in this year's tournament.
This place is going to be very electric. Adrenaline's going to be running a lot. As long as we stay composed, stay to the game plan, I think we'll do really well, especially against Albion, our first game for the Ridl. We lost to them last year, blew like a 15-point lead. So I know for me, that's fueling me to come here that Friday night and get the business.
I also chatted with freshman guard Lucas Stanley before his first Ridl Classic as a Titan.
Just playing hard, crashing offensive rebounds, playing hard on D. Especially shout out Mick Erdenrother, senior guard. He just plays so hard on defense, and we just all got to follow his lead.
Being from nearby Newcastle, Pennsylvania, Stanley has a unique connection to the Ridl Classic.
Growing up around here, I used to always come, so I'm just excited to get my career started as a Westminster Titan.
Stanley spoke about the legendary coach.
He is a legend around here, and it's always an honor to play in a tournament named after him for everything he did for this program.
This year's Ridl Classic will feature Albion College, Penn State Shenango, Teal College, and of course, the Westminster Titans. Teal and Penn State Shenango will lead off the tournament on Friday, November 14th at 6 p.m., followed by Westminster and Albion. Next, on Saturday the 15th, Albion and Teal will tip off at 1 o'clock. Then Westminster will take on Penn State Shenango to wrap up the 2025 Ridl Classic. For Titan Town Sports, I'm Tom Rook.
Buzz Ridl, an absolute legend in Titan athletics. 216 wins as a Westminster coach. He was also a World War II veteran. Veterans Day this past week, this Tuesday, November 11th, Ethan.
Yeah, thank you to everybody for their service. My great-grandfather was in the U.S. Navy, so a big shout-out to him, and just really proud to be able to honor everything that veterans like Buzz Ridl have done for our country.
He was elected into the Titan Sports Hall of Fame in 1964 as well. Ethan, let's talk about women's basketball here at Westminster.
Yeah, Westminster kicking off their season this past Saturday and Sunday at the Teammates for Life Tip-Off Invitational at Manchester University in Indiana, Tom. Their first game against Manchester, it was a Titan loss, but they got a win in that second one against Kalamazoo, 57-56.
I understand. We had a little film room, Ethan.
Yes, we did. Kennedy Arison broke down some plays with me from this past weekend's games. Westminster junior guard Kennedy Arison dropped 13 points and dished 7 assists in a win over Kalamazoo and tallied another 7 points in a loss to Manchester in the Teammates for Life tip-off tournament this past weekend. I'm Ethan Kurtz, and I got to sit down with KO and have her break down the film of her highlights to start the 2025-26 campaign.
Hi, I'm Kennedy Arison, a junior guard, and this is Film Room with KO.
Okay, so this first clip, I think this is from the second game this weekend. Each play, just kind of like take me through it, like how the play developed, but then also kind of what you're seeing now afterwards, watching things back.
Yeah, I think she just like went under the screen and I saw the shot was there, so I was like, you gotta take that.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, this one.
Yeah, that was just out of bounds. I knew Kana was gonna come off that screen hard, and that was a great momentum shifter, so I was glad she got that and one, and ones are always the best, so.
Yeah, you and Grace are the only two juniors on the team, right? How has that kind of like allowed you guys to further your tight relationship and take that onto the court too?
Yeah, we've had to take on a big leadership role this year, and yeah, we've just kind of been doing it together and leading the team, and it's been a lot of fun, so.
Next one.
Good pass.
Yeah, good pass, kick out to you. Find her again.
Yeah.
Able to finish that one. Same thing, this was in the second game of the tournament this past weekend. Kind of break down the play for me.
Yeah, that was a huge shot by Jenna in a crucial moment, and she got to her spot, had a great kick out pass to me. I was able to get the drive, and she got to her spot and made the shot, so that was huge, and especially being a freshman in her first weekend, making that big shot.
So this was from the first game against Manchester at the Teammates for Life tip-off tournament. Ended up knocking down a 3 here right before halftime. Same thing, take me through the play here and just kind of how this all developed.
Yeah, once again, great screen by Jenna. That shot wouldn't have been there if she wasn't setting that screen, and I kind of just saw the space and I took the shot. One
thing that I think like stands out with your game is like not only your ability to shoot and create for yourself, but also create for others, especially with, you see the numbers of how many assists you'll usually have, some steals as well, but Just like kind of talk about your ability now, like as a junior and an upperclassman, to kind of further your role as like a quarterback, you could even say, of like the offense.
Yeah, I think this year I'm kind of adding in my like ability to create for others, and now I'm starting to kind of learn how to create for myself and others, and it's been a lot of fun to kind of get everybody involved like I normally do and I like love to do, and then kind of see when I can, you know, create for myself too. So I feel like that's kind of been part of the upperclassman role for me, the leadership, kind of knowing when to do which, and it's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of learning.
Always really fun for me, Tom, to hear these athletes take me through their thought process when they're out on the court, the field, wherever they're playing. And Kennedy, I thought that was a really cool segment, just seeing her mindset as she's really transitioned into a leader of this program.
13 points, 7 assists, 6 rebounds in that win against Kalamazoo, Ethan.
Yeah, they also picked up a loss to Manchester, Tom, 49-89 in that one. Kennedy had 7 points and a 3-pointer there as well. Grace Kano, 8 points and 4 rebounds in that loss as well.
Westminster will play in the Hampton Inn by Hilton tip-off tournament this weekend. Back-to-back weekends with tournaments.
Yeah, this one in Washington, PA. They play Mount Union in the first game. I believe Ohio Northern in the second game. So 2 different opponents. Mount Union was at that tip-off tournament last weekend. Westminster didn't play them, but still maybe a little bit of a familiar foe there.
We'll stay on the hardwood now. Talk a little volleyball. A big win for the Westminster volleyball team over Chatham in the first round of the PAC playoffs.
Yeah, Westminster now this Thursday will take on Hiram in the semifinals of the PAC tournament, a team that the Titans lost to in 5 sets twice already this season.
We've got a little story on the Titans' late season run into the postseason.
And she's got it. Liv Trent sends Westminster to the PAC playoffs.
It's been a statement week for the Titans. After a thrilling win over Allegheny that punched their ticket to the PAC championship, the team didn't stop there, taking down the #1 seed in the South in a huge upset victory. We caught up with head coach Tammy Swearingen and assistant coach Brandon Lewis to talk about the team's mindset and days leading up and what it'll take to keep this momentum rolling.
All right, we're really excited about making the PAC playoffs. We've been there every year but one since 2002, so I'm really excited for the seniors to get back to the tournament and have that opportunity, because once you're in, anything can happen. We've got to really focus on ball control tomorrow and our energy, and if we continue to believe and do those 2 things well, I think we'll be successful.
All right, heading into playoffs, I feel like we're peaking at the right time. End of the season, we're playing well. Know we're going to go down to Chatham and get a rowdy crowd and a team that's going to try to serve us off the court, so we're definitely going to have to serve, receive well, and take care of the ball. And just be aggressive and realize that maybe we're the 3rd seed, but we're in no way the underdog.
The Titans traveled to Chatham and entered the Cougars' den for the PAC quarterfinals. Leading the way for the Titans, Morgan O'Brien posted an impressive all-around performance with 13 kills, 22 assists, and 26 digs. Rachel LaSalvia added 12 digs, while Liv Trent followed with 10. At the net, Shelby Rambo led with 7 blocks, followed by Charlotte Bergen with 6 and Jamie Robertson with 5. Angie Nardone tailed 18 assists and 13 digs, while Hallie Albers added 2 assists and 14 digs. Now it's all eyes on Hiram Thursday, November 13th, as the Titans look to keep the dream alive and punch their ticket to the PAC semifinals.
And that'll do it. Westminster moving on to the semifinal matchup.
Seeing a potential underdog run here, Tom, for the Westminster volleyball team in the PAC tournament. Reminds me a little bit of 2021 when the Hickory men's basketball team made it all the way to the state championship, led by Peyton Mell.
Peyton Mell, a great cameraman for us here in the Westminster broadcasting department. 3rd in all-time scoring for the Hickory Hornets.
Unbelievable. And speaking of Hickory, Tom, for the high school of the week, let's send it over to Hermitage, PA, Hickory High School.
Titan Town sports fans, I'm Lily Stenman, and it's time for another edition of High School of the Week. This week, we are taking you to Hermitage, Pennsylvania, highlighting the Hickory Hornets. Hickory High School has long stood as a foundational pillar in the Hermitage community, tracing its roots back to the early 1900s and evolving to meet the needs of students from 8th through 12th grade. Today, it blends tradition with innovative programs that inspire learning in a welcoming, close-knit environment. With around 800 students and a dedicated professional staff, Hickory High School offers a setting where individual growth and community engagement go hand in hand. On the football field, Hickory's pride shines just as brightly. The Hornets have become a powerhouse in recent years, claiming the PIAA District 10 Class 3A championship for 2 consecutive seasons and pushing deep into the playoffs once again this year, reaching the district semifinals. Hickory football continues to carry forward the school's winning tradition as a result of their relentless effort. The Hornets' defense has been a major force in the team's success this season, allowing just a little over 14 points per game. The Hornets' dominance in the turnover battle has fueled 21 overall victories, a testament to their ability to capitalize on their opponents' mistakes. Their dominance on this side of the ball, combined with their ability to shut down opponents and control the pace of play early, has been a key factor in the team's continued success and championship caliber performance. By controlling the defensive flow, they give their offense the best chance to succeed. Averaging over 30 points per game, the offense has been just as dangerous this season. Leading the way is sophomore quarterback number 2 Christian Dungy, with 14 touchdown passes and 7 rushing touchdowns this season. His athleticism makes him a constant threat, and his role at free safety shows his versatility. As a freshman, he earned all-region selection at defensive back, proving his early impact on the team. Dungy's dual-threat duo is junior number 3, Kelvin Morrison, a powerful running back and strong safety whose physical style and playmaking ability make the pair one of the most dynamic in the region. On the field, he's been a consistent force, averaging 9.2 yards per carry and racking up 126 total points this season, ranking him number 16 in Pennsylvania. Morrison has already drawn in Division I offers from programs like Penn State, Pitt, Ohio State, West Virginia, and many more. His combination of speed, power, and vision allows him to dominate on the ground and set the tone for the Hornets offense each week. Guiding the program is head coach Bill Dungy, whose leadership and dedication have shaped the Hornets into a powerhouse. In 2024, he was named the Pennsylvania Scholastic Football Coaches Association District Coach of the Year after leading the Hornets to a District 10 championship and a trip to the PIAA semifinals. Under his direction, Hickory continues to set the standard, emphasizing the meaning of the acronym STING displayed on the back of their helmets: strength, toughness, intensity, and non-stop grind. At half, Derek McLafferty got the opportunity to talk to Andre Borowicz, a former Westminster Football alum and the father of senior number 7, Trevor Borowicz, about what he has noticed about the Hornet team.
They just hang in there, you know what I mean? And that's the great thing. They fear nothing and they just hang in and fight till the end. So that's, that's all you can ask for,
On the sidelines, Hickory's cheer team keeps the energy high, rallying fans and showing school pride at every game. Whether leading the cheers in the stands or performing at halftime, the cheer team plays a key role in supporting the Hornets' success and uniting the community. This has been your edition of High School of the Week, highlighting the Hickory Hornets. For Titantown Sports, I'm Lily Stenman.
Another great High School of the Week, the Hickory Hornets. Great job, Lily Stenman and Derek McLafferty. Hickory playing this week against Sharon, their 3rd year in a row playing against each other in the District 10 finals.
Yeah, Tom, before we get any further, I absolutely love the outro there from the Hickory cheerleaders. Great shout out to Titantown Sports, so shout out to all of them. I absolutely love that. But yeah, Tom, a very exciting week here as we do have the high school football playoffs continuing, and I got to talk a little bit about last week's action here in the View from the Tower. I'm Ethan Kurtz, currently overlooking the top of Old Main here on the Westminster College campus, the perfect spot for a view over the high school sports landscape in Lawrence and Mercer counties. District football playoffs continued with a lot of exciting action, so let's get right into it. Starting off with New Wilmington's finest, the number 1 Greyhounds of Wilmington area dominated number 4 Cambridge Springs 42-7 to advance to the 1A championship on Saturday. Wilmington will fight with Greenville, the 2 seed, for the title as the Hounds look to go back-to-back. While the Pittsburgh Steelers struggled on Sunday Night Football, the Farrell Steelers didn't falter on Saturday, rolling past Mercyhurst Prep 52-0 en route to a 2A title in D10. Hickory and Sharon will battle for the 3A championship on Friday. The top-seeded Hornets defeated Fort LaBeouf 34-17 last Friday. 2-seeded Sharon topped Northeast 49-21 to punch their ticket to the final. Laurel ended the Chartiers Houston Cinderella run with a 40-21 win last Friday. The Spartans will play number 1 Fort Cherry in the D7 1A semifinals for a trip to Acrisure next weekend. Neshannock fell to Fort Cherry 36-9 to set the Rangers up with Laurel in the semis. Elwood City fell to Steel Valley 42-6 on Friday in 3A, ending the Wolverines' campaign. Mohawk was dealt a fatal blow against Seton LaSalle, falling 42-7 to the 1 seed. In 4A, number 3 Newcastle's season ended at the hands of Aliquippa by a score of 14-0. Westminster starting quarterback Quentin Good's brother Pook had an interception in the Quips win. That's all for View from the Tower for this week. Congratulations to all of the programs that advanced. I'm Ethan Kurtz, and it's back to the desk on Titantown Sports. Tom, we mentioned a shout-out to all the teams that advanced. Aliquippa and Quilheel Pook Good. Quentin Good's brother with the interception, returned for 6, got called back. He had another interception later in that game, though. But a dominant win for them over Newcastle, able to shut out the Hurricanes.
We mentioned Hickory and Sharon, 3 years in a row, now going to take a tough matchup in the D10 final. Wilmington and Greenville, back-to-back years in the D10 final as well. Both of them played week 1 of 2025 and week 1 of 2024. Very familiar teams facing off this week in the D10 final.
That's absolutely unreal. The Greyhounds will look to win back-to-back D10 championships, as you mentioned, Tom. Let's transition now to our Titan Town trivia.
Titan Town trivia. Titan Hall of Famer Craig Hannon has returned as an assistant coach to the men's basketball team. Which record does Hannon not possess? Is it A, all-time points scored, B, three-pointers made in a single season, C, single season points, or D, career three-point field goals?
Tom, you know, I really have no idea on this trivia question. I'm going to just throw a guess out here. Single season points for Craig Hannon. He doesn't have that one.
We'll see what the answer is. And the answer is C. There you go, Ethan. Nice job.
Let's go, Tom. I've been money on the trivia questions this year, I have to say. Great pull there for me. Just shot in the dark, but Craig Hannon, absolutely unreal career he put together there at Westminster.
Now as an assistant coach for this year's team, let's head over to the Mural Minute on Craig Hannon.
How's it going, Titan Town sports fans? My name is Braylon Juzak, and I'm here with the Mural Minute. This week, we take a deeper dive into former superstar for the men's basketball team, Craig Hannon. As a player, Hannon took the Titans to their first ever NCAA tournament game in 2007. He was also a 4-time All-PAC selection and introduced into the Hall of Fame in 2016. Straight out of college, Craig Hannon found a job as a special education teacher at Girard High School in Ohio. He was also the head boys basketball coach there, where he brought the Indians to an 163 and 139 record over 13 years. As we know, in the offseason, the Titans men's basketball team has handed over the torch to their new head coach, Dave Richards. Not too much later after being hired, on June 12, 2025, Dave Richards then hired Craig Hannon as an assistant coach. Craig Hannon had an amazing playing career here for the Titans. Hopefully he can continue his legacy being an assistant coach and winning more PAC titles.
Westminster assistant coach on this year's team, Craig Hannon, Ethan.
Yeah, Tom, Craig Hannon, the single season scoring record time with Tim Glass and John as well. So 2 players that he is tied with for that single season points mark. So Craig Hannon, that's the only one he didn't have, but he is tied, so he's right there.
A major Titan legend. Now we're going to take a dive into the pool for a little Westminster swim and dive story.
I'm Ethan Schoen, and we're hopping into the pool today at the Westminster Natatorium with an excited head coach, Todd Slobodnyak, to get his impressions on the season so far.
Hi, Todd Slobodnyak, head swim coach of men's and women's Titan swimming here. Season's well underway. 4 meets in, both men and women are both 2-2. Starting to get into some PAC opponents right now. Really happy with what we're seeing. Training's still really difficult, really hard. Titans are swimming really well and diving really well while being sore and tired. Got some big meets coming up as we prepare for the Worcester invite. Really loving what I see out of the freshman class stepping up. We had a really big freshman class this year. On top of that, really excited to see Jack Ateek back lead the way for the men's side. Maddie McLean's doing a wonderful job on the women's side leading that way, and those ladies over there. Just excited for the Worcester invite that we have the first week of December and really getting geared up for PAC's end of season.
After the Chatham win, Associate Director of Athletic Communications, Anthony Esposito, caught up with key swimmers to get their insight on how the team has been doing.
I'm here with Rachel Rospierski, Maddie McLean, Jack Ateek, and Ethan Schoen. Tonight, the men's team had a 158-54 victory, while the women's team had a 174-73 PAC victory over visiting Chatham. First question for tonight is, how has the team's dynamic contributed to your success and the team's success?
I think that the team has done a really great job of really uplifting each other during practice and before and after our races here at the meet, and I think that really contributes to our results in that.
It's really great to hear everybody cheering during every single event, every single race, and it's just uplifting to know that everyone's cheering for everybody else.
All right, with the victory of tonight's meet, how does this week prepare you for your next meet as you host Hiram next Friday?
As a team, I think this prepares us for another win in the near future. I think that seeing the energy and seeing the overall hype of the entire team really brings us all together, makes us a family, and prepares us for this next meet and every meet forward.
It was a nice, strong win for us. We coming up the win with the boys, obviously last week, and this week another win. So just keep the energy going. It's really fun to meet how a lot of good swims with the freshmen and all the upperclassmen. And on the ladies' side, had a lot of good swims as well, and it was just a fun, exciting week to be part of.
The Westminster men's and women's swim and dive teams will compete against Hiram College for the first time ever on Saturday, November 15th.
Yeah, at 1 o'clock here at the Westminster Natatorium. Tom, you mentioned the first time ever. That's unreal. I really can't believe that. That's cool.
Yeah, now it's time for our Titantown Sports Athlete of the Week. The Titantown Sports Athlete of the Week highlights an athlete that excels above all competition while wearing the Titan blue and white. With the return of Titan basketball, it only felt right to give it to the man who led the Titans in scoring in the season opener. Senior Drew Weir finished the game versus Juniata with 27 points, shooting 10 of 18 from the field, snagging 9 boards, and adding a pair of threes and a pair of dunks, Ethan.
Tom, Drew Weir, the Titantown Sports Athlete of the Week. We just mentioned swimming playing Hiram this weekend, having that meet here at Westminster. Jack Katigbak was a Titantown Sports Athlete of the Week just a couple weeks ago, and now we have Drew Weir as one as well.
This weekend, the Ridl Classic, as we mentioned earlier in the episode, Westminster, a couple tough matchups.
Yeah, they have Albion this Friday, and then they'll take on Penn State Shenango on Saturday as well. We have both of those games, Tom. I'm really excited to do it alongside you.
As well as I, Ethan. PIAA Referees is up next with Derek McClafferty.
Titantown sports fans, I'm Derek McClafferty, and today we're going to be taking a deep dive into one of the most underappreciated aspects of sports. On Friday and Saturdays, PIAA officials allow us to watch the game we love. But with fewer people picking up the whistle, those who remain are taking on more than ever. So what keeps them out there? To find out, I sat down with John Mikulas, a longtime PIAA official, Westminster alum, and current Westminster professor. In my talk with John, he explained why he does the difficult job of officiating.
Originally, I looked to get back into some type of sports, but of course at my advanced age, I can't play anymore. But I wanted to get back on the field or help out in any way I could. I mean, I love football. I played it, as long as I could, all the way through college. So just another way that I could stay on the field and stay involved with the sport.
Beyond Friday night lights, there's plenty of work happening behind the scenes, and John shared what that looks like within the officiating crew.
The rule book, the mechanics of it, where you need to be on which type of play, communication amongst the crew, who has what, what's the penalty enforcement. It's just not, I throw a flag and say it's holding and then I run off to the sideline. I have to know the enforcement spot. I have to help the whole crew with, what down it is. So it's a whole crew communication throughout the entire game. We're not out there on our own, we're on our own team.
John also noted that every official has a significant role in making game day run smoothly.
For Mercer County District 10, that's where I officiate. On a Friday night, we have 5 officials, where somewhere like Pittsburgh might have 6, and then playoffs, they go to 7. So the positions, the white hat, that's the referee. The umpire, he's in there in the middle, generally behind the linebackers on the field. And then you have the 2 wings, the line judge and the head linesman. The head linesman, he's the guy with the chains. And then we have the back judge on a Friday night. He does most of the running, right? He's got to beat the guy to the end zone. He's the one that has to get to the sideline if someone runs out of bounds and make sure there's no, extracurricular over there. So on a Friday night, those are the 5 positions.
Officials are a necessary component of any game, but the PIAA faces a major problem. There are simply not enough officials to make games happen.
We need officials very bad. In every sport. I can only speak for football. Football, they make varsity teams now play on Thursday and Saturday because we just don't have enough guys or women to come out and support it and, officiate full game.
I also had the privilege of talking with referee and chapter president Jason Hoffman about why someone should try refereeing and why it's so important to get more officials on the field.
Like, at the end of the day, you're doing something that not a lot of people are willing to do. Because, ultimately without officials, there are no games.
The next time you're under the Friday night lights, remember the people in strips making it all possible. If you think you've got what it takes, visit PIAA.org to learn how to get started. For Titantown Sports, I'm Derek McClafferty.
A big shout out to Lily Stenman for her help with that segment as well.
Yeah, Tom, Derek McLafferty, absolutely loved that piece. It was a historic episode of Titantown Sports, Tom, not only because of the legends we talked about and the records that were broken, but just because of the length of this episode, the longest one we've produced yet here on Titantown Sports. From everything on this one, from the whiteboard session about NPI to being in the pool with Ethan Schoen, a great segment, a great episode, and I really enjoyed being alongside you with it for it, Tom.
Me as well, Ethan. We hope you enjoyed it watching. We'll see you next week, episode 13 coming next week,
Yeah, there
Ethan.
we go. Got it right that time, Tom.
See you next week.
I'm Aiden Fletcher, linebacker for the Westminster Titans, and that was Titantown Sports. See you next week.